Start your successful claim today.
Feel like some great tasting chicken tonight? Great meal deals, wraps, burgers and sides. We've got it all at Chicken Palace. Call and collect at 302 Lincoln Road on 01733 702 447 or 8 Park Road on 01733 343750. Chicken Palace, open 11am till late.
दोस्ता की परेशान है
जरा कर है ना सारा सौदा मुक्या वा मुल्का विच पैसे भेजने
हूं अमार फूड वाले की फोन खड़का ते फ्री लोकल डिलीवरी कार मंगवा
आलाता उठा क्या स्पेशल आ
उन्हां की लबाई हाइजीन च ग्रेड 5 चीजें चंगियां मियारी ते सस्तियां ते नाले ऑफरां ही ऑफरां
और क्या
ताजा गोश्त ताजी सब्जियां ते फ्रूट आटा चावल दालां मसाले ते जूस सारे बिल जमा करने गैस ते इलेक्ट्रिक ने टॉप अप भी करने पाकिस्तान पैसे बिल्कुल फ्री भेजने मतलब के एक चिड़ी ने दूध छड़ी ते हर शय लबनी
जने ने आप उतरा
Amar Food Store and Halal Meat 613B Lincoln Road Peterborough telephone 01733 687374
الحديث 37 عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الله أعددت لعبادي الصالحين ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر واقرأوا إن شئتم فلا تعلم نفس ما أخفي لهم من قرة أعين رواه البخاري ومسلم والترمذي وابن ماجه.
Hadith 37. On the authority of Abu Huraira, may Allah be pleased with him, who said that the Messenger of Allah, may the blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, said, Allah said, I have prepared for my righteous servants what no eye has seen and no ear has heard, nor has it occurred to human heart. Thus recite if you wish, and no soul knows what joy for them has been kept hidden. It was related by Al-Bukhari, Muslim, At-Tirmidhi, and Ibn Majah.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Peterborough Property Guys on Salam Radio. I hope you had a great week so far. You with myself, the temporary property host of the Property Guys, Adam Cooper, and my new co-host, Qasafi Sadiq. How are you, Qasafi?
I'm good, thank you, mate. I'm very good, thank you, Adam. How are you, buddy? You okay?
Oh, fantastic. I'm in a hot seat today.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you that you're taking a bit of responsibility. You know, most of the weeks, I've got all the burden on my shoulders of running the show, but today we've got you here, and I'm really excited about it. I'm sure the guys are listening, will be like, "Whoa, Adam, wicked! Guys, tune in! It's Adam Cooper."
So yeah, guys, you are listening right now. Jump on, guys. We want to hear your feedback from us. So, guys, today we've got some really interesting topics to talk about. First of all, I need to tell you how we're getting on here. So, guys, we are bringing to you every Tuesday on Salam FM at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. our show, the Peterborough Property Guys. We are live on Salam Radio on 106.2 FM. You can listen to us online by visiting salamradio.co.uk or watch the show on our streaming services by searching Salam Radio on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram or Twitter. If you prefer mobile, please download Salam Radio app through the App Store or Google Play. Salam Radio is always on air 24/7, 365, uniting all communities. You can watch a repeat of this show if you missed the live show by searching us on our streaming services. Today's guest for this week is none other than the amazing Ray Spooner. Ray Spooner is an amazing guy. He's actually one of my mentors. We're very, very, very privileged to have him on the show today. He's going to talk you all about the construction market. But guys, into our first topics, we'll come back to it later on. If you have any questions in the meantime as well, you want to ask Ray, get him ready. He's going to be coming on at the second half of the show. So get involved in the show, guys, by dialing studio number on 01733 602 133, or you can text or WhatsApp on 077 45 278 978. So guys, our topics for today: Peterborough house prices up by 27% in the last 5 years. 27%. Wow. It's crazy. Insane. So, but what we're going to do, we're going to flip this round today, guys. So Qasafi, tell our viewers why you should tune in to Slam FM every Tuesday at 5 o'clock to listen to the likes of me and you.
Amazing. Well, you know what, Adam? Why shouldn't people tune in? Regulations are changing constantly. The property market is changing in general. So, you know, a lot of people, you'd be surprised, are not aware of how rapidly things change. So, you know, Islam Radio is another platform for people to listen about the latest change of legislation. And look what's happening with Brexit at the moment. You know, how is that going to affect the property market? So by tuning in to Islam Radio every Tuesdays at 5 o'clock, you know, we're going to be giving you guys some really, really factual information for you guys to absorb and to really reflect on how that's going to impact you in your personal or business life.
Sounds incredible, Qasafi. I don't know why you wouldn't want to tune in.
Absolutely, mate. It's the place to be, isn't it? And we've got fantastic guests coming in all the time. I'm really excited about having Ray on the show today because, you know, with his background, I was reading his bio earlier today and wow, he's quite an accomplished guy. So I would love to get him on the show at some point and, you know, just listen to his, you know, background about property. Also, you know, what value he could add to the show today. It'd be absolutely amazing. Looking forward to it.
Oh my God, honestly, the stuff Ray can teach you about the construction industry, you know, he's forgot more than most people know. So that is how in-depth we're going to go. But guys, before we go into the full details today, here are the headlines for today's topic. Number one, Peterborough Passport Office is the latest government building, should I say, to relocate from the city centre over to Fletton Quays. You know, another one, we had the council building before, we had the main office there, they've gone over, and now even the passport office has gone over. There's been a huge outrage on a new development for housing, which is being considered by the Peterborough City Council for the North Minster multi-storey car park based in the city centre. Now, I know we touched base on that before, didn't we?
We did, absolutely. That is obviously a hot topic because there's a lot of debate about that, isn't there?
So that's a massive historical car park potentially getting turned into apartments. And then finally, last but not least, the 178-year-old travel agency Thomas Cook leaves 1,000 of Peterborough residents unemployed after a shock announcement to enter a compulsory liquidation. I mean, that topic alone, guys, we could go on about for a whole show, I'm sure. So
absolutely.
Guys, especially why we've got the legendary Ray Spoon in the office, in the studio. We want to get his thoughts on it as well, because Ray's been in business for over 30 years now. So, guys, no one better than Ray himself to answer that question.
Definitely. It'd be good to get to hear other professionals' outlook on that particular incident that's happened in the last week or two.
Oh, definitely. And most of all, we want to know, how is this going to affect the people, you know, who have lost their jobs and the property market in Peterborough in general?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? But more on that with Qasafi and our special guest shortly. For those of you who are tuned in live on Salam Radio, we want to ask you, how do you feel about the demise of Thomas Cook is going to affect the Peterborough property market? We would love to hear your thoughts, guys, on this question, especially if you're a former employee. So, guys, you can get us on WhatsApp, send us your thoughts, get us on Facebook Live. You can get us on this matter on 07745 278 978 or get involved with us on Facebook Live and have your say. So, guys, Moving on to our topic. Peterborough house prices up 27% in the last 5 years. I can't believe that, just reading that stuff.
Amazing, isn't it? It's really good for investors, for landlords.
Yeah.
And it must be music for people, you know, for those who are not on the property market yet. They'll be thinking, actually, you know, all this stuff that's going around with Brexit and with politics, is that really affecting the property market? Well, guys, we've got some news for you.
It's the thing, it makes you question a lot, doesn't it, really? You think if people, first-time buyers, got to raise, you know, as little as a 5% deposit, but they could benefit from a 27% uplift in 5 years.
Yeah.
We're always going to get them sort of returns.
Definitely.
So then, Qasafi, the tables have turned today. So I'm going to ask you some of the questions today.
Let's do it.
So, over the last 5 years, we've seen some interesting, subtle changes to the Peterborough property market.
Yes, we have.
Has buying patterns for landlords changed for the good or the bad?
It's a really interesting question. There's been a lot of ups and downs in the property market. But overall, as you mentioned, they've gone up by 27%. So, roll the clock back 12 months and 6,700 buy-to-let mortgages were granted in the same month for 900 million, which is quite a huge amount, meaning the average buy-to-let mortgage was around £134,200. So looking at the last month's figures, and as one might expect with the Brexit issue overhanging, the property market, the lending figures were down, yet not by the amount I originally thought. So last month, just over 6,100 new buy-to-let mortgages were granted for a total sum of 800 million, meaning the average landlord mortgage was a respectable £131,100. So that on its own shows you how healthy the market is looking at the moment. Yet when I look back at the boom year of 2014, the property market in the corresponding same month, only over 1 million was borrowed, yet on 8,300 buy-to-let properties, meaning the average buy-to-let mortgage then was 124,100. It seems Brexit is having no effect on the landlord's habits whatsoever. But looking closer to home in Peterborough throughout last year, I've been chatting to some landlords, about the Peterborough property market, as well as the first-time buyers, and the attitude is mostly positive. Instead of reading the scare papers, those Peterborough landlords that look with their eyes will see that Peterborough property market is doing reasonably well, with median terms rents and property values rising, as quite obviously from the mortgage figures. Landlords are still buying, and I'm keen to get Ray's opinion on this at a later time, because he's in the trade, he's in the business, he's massive in development. And we always talk about how much short we are in properties, and there's a huge demand, a lack of supply. So hence why there's been a huge increase of 27% in the last 5 years.
No, it's true. Ray can actually bring some insight on an interesting topic we spoke about last week, or we just touched base on, which is permitted development rights to convert offices to residential properties now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we touched base on that last week, because Ray's actually in the midst of a conversion, just finishing as we speak. So again, guys, we're really interested. Any question about that? That's a massive topic on its own, guys. Get them in, get them ready for when Ray's on. Like I say, drop us a text on 07745 278 978. Or jump on Facebook Live, guys, and drop us a comment. We'll be happy to answer that while Ray's here.
So, Adam, you're obviously, a letting agent by trade. You're also a property developer. You manage a huge property portfolio. The question I get asked a lot is, what type of buy-to-let property should I buy? So maybe you could kind of, answer that question to some of the people that are listening at the moment.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think, first of all, guys, what you got to get down to is, what kind of investor do you want to be? Do you want to be hands-on? Do you want to be hands-off? Are you looking for security, low risk? Are you looking for higher returns? Are you looking for higher returns, or are you looking for, just that quite easy ride when nothing too... Sorry, guys, I'm getting adjusted here. If you remember, guys, bear with me. It's my first time in the hot seat. But yeah, so guys, it really does depend. I mean, like I said, I love HMOs, I love house shares, because for me, that de-risks it. If I've got 6 tenants and 3 of them come empty, I've still got the bills being paid and still earning money. But I know other people, like Ray himself. Ray's not a big fan of the house shares. He prefers single lets, because he finds it more predictable. It's a slower game, but Ray's going to experience a lot less pain than I am. Ray will sleep a lot better at night, but we'll just do bigger turnovers. So it's all what you want to do, I'd say always focus on building cash flow at first, and then look at the longer term investments as you go along. Keep adjusting that portfolio. There's deals out there, guys, especially in the shared housing market. All the rules and regs come in, all the tax changes. You're going to find a lot of these smaller landlords are selling up now. So this is your time to take advantage of it. Just sit down and get honest with yourself. How much money do you have? How much money are you going to have in the future to reinvest? And what are you looking for out of investment? Definitely.
I mean, we've got, one of the School of Hard Knocks here, Ray Spooner. So for those guys who are listening at the moment, if you're keen on, making a future investment in property, then now's a good time to tune in, listen, and if you've got any questions, by all means ask now, and we will put it forward to Ray, and I'm sure he will add value to your lives.
Definitely. Now, Qasafi, I'm really interested, to be fair, to see how you've seen the market change over the last few months, really. Because you deal more in sales than anything else, don't you?
Absolutely.
So you get all aspects of the market. I tend to deal with more investors.
Yes.
So I can always say how well that's going. So, Qasafi, what massive trends do you notice with sort of when let's go start with home sellers, no?
Yeah.
How are you finding that's changing over the last few months?
The sale market hasn't been as buoyant as it was, say, a couple of years ago. I mean, the thing is, as an estate agent, I hate using the Brexit excuse. When landlords are like, or vendors are like, why aren't property selling? I don't want to use excuses, because if you're a good estate agent, then you could sell at any market. And the truth of the matter is, anything sells at a good price, at the right price. But Brexit has definitely created uncertainty. People are holding back in terms of buying and selling, but the market is still active. As we touched on the topic many times before, there's a huge shortage of properties. Chris Watkins was here last week, and even he kind of reiterated the fact that we need to be building at least 300,000 properties a year to keep up with demand.
Yeah, I think it was even 320, wasn't it? I think it's 280 need to be built a year, but we're in such a big deficit. I'm sure he said it needed to be another 40,000 extra a year.
Absolutely.
Just to try and keep up with where we should have been.
Exactly. So, because of the shortage of properties, the market is still active. However, it's not as buoyant as it was going a couple of years ago. But a lot of people are asking the question, Qasafi, is the property process going to decrease after Brexit? Well, first of all, when is Brexit going to happen? It could happen this year, it could happen next year. They've already delayed it once, probably delay it another time. They've already said that it might move on till January. But I think what it really comes down to, in terms of investment, it's always going to be lucrative. And in life, you can't decide when you need to move. When the time comes, you have to just pick up and move. People are going. People are getting married. People are having kids. The busiest time of selling properties is just after Christmas. And why is that? It's because people realise actually they need more space in the house. Got family over, families are expanding. Unfortunately, people are going through divorces and deaths. So the market is always going to be active, but it's not as buoyant as it used to be a couple of years ago.
So interesting fact there, Qasafi. You touched on the fact that January is the busiest time of year for estate agents. I heard a fact before, and you might be able to shed some light on this.
Okay.
That Boxing Day is the busiest day on Rightmove and Zoopla than any other day of the year.
Yeah,
surely
absolutely.
That's not true.
Believe it or not, it's true. And I'll tell you why the reason is. It's because it's a public holiday. Straight after Christmas, a lot of people are not working. And what's the first thing they're going to do? After the Christmas dinner, they're going to realise, wait a minute, I need more space in my house. Or they're going to have a bit of a domestic, and they're going to be like, I need to, pack my bags. So people are on Rightmove, and it's this is a statistic from Rightmove. It is the busiest time for Rightmove, Boxing Day. So what we tend to do with come close to Christmas, we do a pre-Christmas launch with a lot of our properties. So those vendors who are looking to go on the market during Christmas time, we kind of hold it off until Boxing Day.
That's interesting.
It is because it is the busiest time of the year. A lot of estate agents, what they tend to do is market the properties in the new year. And that's the thing, everyone does it. So that's why what we kind of market our properties on Boxing Day. It's a pre-Christmas launch thing that we kind of promote to our vendors. It just generates more interest, and it's got a high chance come January that we can secure a buyer.
That's a really clever way of looking at it, Qasafi.
Definitely.
It's very clever.
Yeah,
I reckon
absolutely.
You're probably catching out 9 out of 10 of the agents there, because you think a lot of his corporates.
Yeah.
I worked in a corporate myself years ago, and it was never the same as that.
I know this one estate, he actually opens on Christmas Day.
No way.
Really?
Christmas Day.
There was a property that I was listening to his podcast, and he had a property in the. There was a vendor who had a property in the market for a good part of a year, and this estate agent, he's won the Estes Award too. So it just shows you that he did go above and beyond to become a successful business, and he actually opened. He said there's an open day on Christmas Day. Now everyone's off on Christmas Day. After Christmas dinner, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
probably go for a walk around the park or around the block, take the dog for a walk, go for a little family walk. But instead, he thought, let's think out the box. Let's promote the property as an open day on Christmas Day. Had a lot of people come in, and he sold the property on Christmas Day. So it's really interesting how these little things work.
That's really clever, It's like someone's a massive Christmas gift, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What a clever little marketing strategy there. I love this stuff like little things where you go outside the box, think outside the norm, and get it done.
Adam, I had the courtesy of kind of adding a bit of a twist to today's show.
Okay.
I thought, let's make it a bit fun. And obviously, it kind of does resonate with our guest too, because, he's in the property market. So what I want to talk about today is the comparing the Peterborough streets to the Monopoly board. Now, a lot of you guys out there, who've played Monopoly, probably not the new generation, but certainly the previous generation who love board games and Monopoly in particular, we kind of compared the street prices in total to the street prices in Peterborough.
Okay.
So Mayfair is a square everyone wants to buy, and whilst it is the most expensive to buy, it offers the greatest returns. So Mayfair was the must-have London dress when the Monopoly board game was made in 1935, when at the time it was the most expensive street to buy houses at £400 each. So
£400.
yeah.
Wow.
So readers will know I like my challenge. So my research shows that a typical house in Mayfair today costs an average of 2.8 million, whilst the total value of all the property in Mayfair area currently stands at £11.8 billion.
Wow.
So the fun part of Monopoly was to build more houses and ultimately a hotel to extract the maximum rent from the other players who landed on the square.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you've played Monopoly before. I'm sure Ray's played Monopoly.
I play it every day in real life.
Absolutely. So that's why this idea came from. So that made me think, instead of looking at the average value of a property on the street, what if we looked at the total value of property on the whole street? So I carried out some research on all the 410 streets in PE1 and calculated that the top 20 streets in terms of the total value of all properties on the street. And just for fun, colour coded them as they were a Monopoly board. So, as I mentioned, the total value of all the property in Mayfair currently stands at £11.8 billion.
Okay, not bad.
I want to ask my audience, in fact, what they think the total value of a street in Peterborough, or the highest value in a street in Peterborough is, or just name the street. I know Ray's already mentioned it earlier on. He got it spot on.
See, Ray was ahead of the curve right there, wasn't he? He's been Peterborough too many times, clearly. But guys, this is a really interesting one. So get your thoughts in. Text the show on WhatsApp. Get on Salam FM, their Facebook page. Text and WhatsApp's 07745 278 978, or drop us a comment on the Facebook Live that's happening right now.
Absolutely. So, you know what? We've got a lot of streets in Peterborough that we want to compare the equivalent to the streets in London, or the Monopoly board.
This will be interesting then. What have we got?
Okay, so the Mayfair of Peterborough. Are you guys ready for it? Do you want to know what the Mayfair of Peterborough is?
What we got?
Not in terms of luxury, lavish and expensive properties, but the total property on that street.
I think it's going to be completely opposite then, eh?
Yeah. So the equivalent to the Mayfair in Peterborough is Lincoln Road.
No way, Lincoln Road.
105 million.
Million.
Yeah.
105 million on Lincoln Road.
On Lincoln Road.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously, Mayfair is 11.8 billion. Mayfair is Mayfair, of course. And the most properties value in PE1 in particular is Lincoln Road. So going downwards. So Park Lane was another popular street on the Monopoly board. So that would compare to Broadway at 79 million.
You know what? For a minute, I thought you might have said Park Road. You know, because it's so close. Because them streets are very similar in Peterborough.
I have got Park Road on there, but it's not second.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, but Broadway is. I mean, Park Road's longer than Broadway, isn't it?
I think it is a bit longer.
Yeah.
But Broadway's definitely got a lot more prestigious housing. Come to think of it.
Exactly. So the Bond Street on the Monopoly board is equivalent to, believe it or not, Eastfield Road at £75 million.
The legendary Eastfield Road.
For those guys who are listening right now, I'll be talking about the streets in PE1 and the property values on each street, which is compared to the Monopoly board. And going to Oxford Street, that's compared to, as you mentioned, Park Road.
Wait, so I know it had to be on there somewhere.
Yeah, at £70 million.
Wow, you know, I think I know a few guys winning Monopoly on Park Road and Broadway as well.
Yeah,
definitely winning the game.
Absolutely. So just to kind of summarise, the top four at the moment: Lincoln Road, Broadway, Eastfield Road, and Park Road.
It's all very central streets.
Now this is where it's going to become really, really interesting now, and people are going to be like, "Whoa, here it comes!"
Come on, then.
Regent Street. What street would you compare that to in Peterborough in terms of equivalent value?
Come on, tell us. I have no clue. What have we got?
Believe it or not, it's no other than Gladstone Street.
Gladstone
Street.
Come on, what's the total value on Gladstone Street?
The total value of properties on Gladstone Street is 62 to 63 million pounds.
Gladstone Street.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You'd never guessed that at first glance, would you? You'd never put Gladstone Street as one of the most expensive collective streets in Peterborough.
Who would have thought? And Piccadilly is equivalent to Docksop Road at 58 to 59 million.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. Dockside Road's it's not the biggest road in the world, is it? But it's got some big houses on there.
Yeah, you got some nice houses there, and it's quite a long road. Do you not reckon? Probably same as Park Road or a bit smaller.
Well, yeah, come to think of it, yeah, because it branches off, doesn't it?
But it's not as kind of, high end as Park Road.
No.
Yeah. Coventry Street is equivalent to Eastern Avenue at just below 50 million. Leicester Square is equivalent to Cromer Road at just over 40 million pounds.
Wow.
So the total value of property on Cromer Road is just over 40 million pounds for those who are listening.
That's a lot higher than I ever would have thought,
Yeah.
But reflecting back on these figures, especially going back to the Lincoln Road one, come to think of it, you think about it now, I mean, we've got £1 million project on the go on Lincoln Road as it is. That consists of 2 properties.
Wow.
So when you think of that... And
there you have it, absolutely.
Compare it to the rest of the street, it does add up pretty quickly.
And believe it or not, Lincoln Road is quite a long street, or a long road.
Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier on, it goes all the way to Clinton, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, yeah. We're telling a funny story about a negotiator of ours going the wrong end of Lincoln Road. Not knowing Peterborough, bless him. That is a really long road, eh? Really, really long road.
Yeah. So we've got a few minutes before the break. So shall I finish off? I've got a few more properties that I want to mention.
Come on, then, let's see what we got. What we got?
So in terms of Trafalgar Square, it's Newark Road at just £40 million. Fleet Street is equivalent to I Road, also just below £40 million. The Strand, which is equivalent to Alexander Road, at 36 to £37 million. Vine Street is equivalent to St Paul's Road at just below £35 million. Bow Street is compared to equivalent to Padham Road at just over or below £33 million. And the list does go on to all the way from Welland Road to Crown Street to Peveril Road to Chestnut Avenue to Northfield Road, and last but not least Huntley Grove at just below £30 million.
Wow.
So Huntley Grove, the property values in Huntley Grove, £30 million. So it's quite a surprise, isn't it?
So what I'm expecting now, Qasafi, is a Peterborough Monopoly board from you for Christmas now. With all these streets on.
Guys, if that's something that you want, then please comment right now, and I'm more than happy to get one designed for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed that.
So come on, guys, you heard Qasafi right there. Get a comment in, guys. I need a Monopoly board with Peterborough on for Christmas. So guys, get a comment. Let's get Qasafi held to his promise right there. But guys, very shortly we're going to take a break now, and then we've got the legendary Ray Spooner coming back. So we're going to have a few minute break in just a little while. So please get them questions in for Ray. He is a font of knowledge, honestly, guys.
Definitely.
He truly is.
Yeah. So give us a bit of background about Ray before he comes on, so people know what they're going to be getting themselves into.
Ray is an award-winning entrepreneur. He's been in business over 30 years. He's been a buy-to-let landlord, throughout them years as well. He's bought, he's built, he's sold, and he's back in the game now. And they're building a tremendous portfolio, as a legacy for his sons. Really, really teaching the younger generation how it's done. Really, taking creative strategies, modern strategies as well. And he's combining his construction knowledge, his years of construction knowledge, to really change the game up.
Amazing. Really looking forward to listen to Ray after the break. But we've got plenty of people who are actually watching us on Facebook Live at the moment.
Definitely.
So a big shout out to everyone. We've got a message from Luke Spooner saying he really enjoyed the Monopoly board. So
Luke, we'll get you a Monopoly board as well, buddy. Don't you worry. Kaz is going to get them for everyone. So guys, we're just going to go to a short break now. Join us back very soon.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Asr Azan. This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1962.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
This Azan is sponsored by UK Islamic Mission, serving humanity since 1962.
Who is the love one?
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Welcome back to Salam Radio 106.2 FM. You're listening to the Peterborough Property Guys with myself, Adam Cooper, and my temporary co-host, Qasafi Sadiq. So, a quick recap, guys. So far, we've gone over the compulsory liquidation of Thomas Cook and the potential after effects that this could cause. And not only that, but Peterborough house prices went up by 27% in the last 5 years. But now, guys, it's time to introduce our special guest, the one and only Ray Spooner. So, Ray, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
How have you been today, Ray?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Pretty good. Property today in Peterborough today, so that was quite useful. I was already in Peterborough.
Nice.
Yeah.
Property day today.
So, right.
So, Ray, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us your background.
What, right from the very beginning, or just... Yeah?
Right from birth. No, just from the relevant
so
points.
I was born and I was... I got into construction really age 22. Having left school, went into engineering, couldn't stand the confinement in between the factory walls, so got into construction, loved it straight away, and was lucky enough to start a business with my father.
Nice.
And so he retired due to ill health, sort of 5 or 6 years into it, left me a really ill-equipped MD. So took the business on, and it grew fairly rapidly. So I went back to education and kind of develop myself in front of the growth of the business, as it were. And it was like that for many years. The business grew steadily, and I started buying property around about 29, something like that.
Okay.
Commercial units and resis around East London, when you could buy properties in East London at fairly competitive prices.
Of course, you're nearly playing a monopoly.
And I wish I hadn't sold them.
Yeah. How is it?
Oh,
how long ago was that then?
Yeah, well, you're going back like 30 odd years.
How much? I'm curious to know what the property prices were in London, because they're twice as much as they are in Peterborough.
I mean, we were picking them up for. I think we paid something like 39k for our first. I think it was a house that we traded from, and when we sold it for 250 grand some years later. But I mean, obviously prices went up crazily, didn't they? They went down a bit in 2008 though as well, didn't they?
They did.
Locked about a quarter off them. Yeah. We was in the middle of a development then as well.
No way. So that's quite interesting.
So we lost a little bit there.
I was going to say, how did you experience that? What was it like?
We had a refinance. We had an end value of 480k.
Yeah.
I remember we're going back now from 2008, whatever it was. So it was a reasonable size. We built from ground up 3 flats basically, and that was all good. And I was looking forward to this end value of 580, probably going up a little bit as we were on site for a year or so. And then it happened. The crash happened.
Everyone's worst nightmare.
The end value was worth 360.
Whoa.
So probably it cost us 150k sort of thing. But obviously it taught me a massive lesson about looking at property cycles and buying and selling at the right time, especially doing developments at the right time, because you do not want to get caught out, at the top of the cycle and it crashing in between the build. Anyway, but
nice.
so I've been the property side's really come alongside the construction side, if you like, which has been very useful for the property side, obviously being in construction. And then I suppose I'll fast forward until the boys started leaving school, because as you know, I've got 5 sons, all in the business.
Amazing.
Very, very lucky.
Pretty impressive.
Amazing. Pretty amazing.
And it's been it's been a bit of a life's work, and I obviously feel very lucky to have been working with my sons. That's a real
it's an incredible achievement to be able to bring all 5 sons into the business, eh?
Yeah, I've sort of chained them up and sort of dragged them. Like someone told me early on to just, when they're at school, just make it a nice experience from when they visit the business, and they think of that working environment as a nice place to come. So basically, I've blackmailed my sons into. I haven't really.
Blackmailed them to be rich, eh? I think a worse way.
Now, obviously, they look after me in my old age, so I don't have to work.
Nice.
But they came into the business, from free will, and I sort of mentored them and trained them up, and again, fast forward 15 years or whatever, and I was able to exit the business a few years ago, and my son Ben is now MD. With my other sons running that business. So with my newfound time, I was able to really get into property then.
That's fantastic.
And kind of use the profits that we generated from the construction business and plough that into property. So I chose Peterborough, and we searched a lot of northern towns, but so we ended up at Peterborough because we felt that it's kind of decent yield and decent growth, kind of halfway house, if you like.
It's a good mix, though.
Yeah, it's sort of, I live in Cambridge, and that was really not really on for us. But
so if you don't mind me asking, how long have you kind of been investing in Peterborough?
So about 2.5 years.
Very recent.
It's gone. We've been busy though for the first year. Alex, my son, now nearly. I mean, he's only 18, but he nearly runs the property side now. Believe it or not.
Amazing.
So we bought rapidly, but we had a lump of money, and we had the profits coming through from the construction business. And I would really advocate that to anyone really getting into property. Build a business if you can first, generate some revenue, and then plough that into investment. That's our model.
It's interesting the way you say that, because I know we just touched base on that development you did back in 2008, where you potentially lost some money.
Yeah.
But now, like typical investor like myself, a lot of us couldn't handle that kind of loss. But I suppose because you had the business running side by side, and no one wants to take a loss. But they looks like they complement each other though quite well.
I think the thing is in business in general, and obviously most property businesses now run as limited companies anyway.
Yeah.
People should keep things within the risk within a band, if you like, such that if one investment goes down, then it's not going to affect the whole ship, if you like. You're still going to be able to sail forward, sort of thing. So I tend to keep the risk in a margin. So we were able to weather that storm anyway.
It's very clever. It's very good advice as well. You know,
Definitely.
you don't see people doing it much these days. You know,
It's all about planting that plan B, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, you got to work within your means and not go too big too quick.
And I think also it is from any business kind of, you know, not spending all the profits. You know, building up reserves in a business, so a little bit of strength in depth, maybe buying some assets with them. You can make liquid if you need it, that kind of thing. You know?
Exactly. So you're saying no Ferraris, no Lambos, no? A couple? All right, treat yourself. Have one.
Maybe a Porsche. Anyway, let's not talk about
Whoever tickles your fancy. Whoever tickles your fancy.
We're going way off topic here. So back to what we were saying. Right. So you're in construction. You know, you've been in it for years.
Yep.
Now, a question on the mind of nearly every property developer and investor is, how do you find a good contractor?
Okay, right. So no, people ask me that a lot, and because I'm in construction, people think I'm just going to come up with a magic formula. You know, that's how you find them. It's not as easy as that. So really, the best answer I can give is that you speak to someone that has used a builder, and actually use the services of that builder and got a great service, great experience, and that builder's then referred on to you. So there's a very good chance that's a reputable company. So that's what really the first and foremost way for recommendations. Sorry, it's a bit boring.
No, it makes total sense.
What's your thoughts on mybuilder.com? Just to stop you there.
Sorry,
mybuilder.com.
Yeah, I was going to come on. So failing that, is there are three main methods, if you like, and it all depends on what size and type of project that you're involved in. So there are different levels. So at the top, if you like, there is an organisation called Construction Line, and this was the government approved list initially, but it's been privatised in recent years, and it holds it's a approved list, and it's very, very difficult to get on. You need, for example, CHAS, Construction Health and Safety Scheme, approval to even get on that list with a whole load of pre-qualification information. And so if you get on that, you are accredited up to the eyeballs. But that's really for larger schemes, 150 grand and upwards.
Okay.
So you can source builders through that. Then really the next level down is, I would sort of say, your Federation of Master Builders type companies, which are smaller main contractors that could do all of your, would provide the whole service, and would have some trades in-house, but subcontract other trades. So they would be for your maybe HMO conversions, that type of thing in mid-range projects.
Okay, so more like the typical stuff investors are going to use then.
Really. And then other options are, as Qasafi was saying, is your kind of my builder, rated builder, your trusted trader. I mean, there's a lot of those on the internet there, but really they would be more individuals. So they'll be your plasterers, your carpentry companies, your individual subcontractors, really. And the choice of that would really depend on your individual strategy. If you were hands-on managing, you might want to get individual subcontractors in. But if it was a bit more hands-off, you'd probably give it out to a general builder to manage the whole packet for you.
Nice.
So, yes.
Good bit of advice there, Ray, because I think very often people can get confused by who they need in at what build stage and what type of build. I
think the problem is that it's like, in the commercial side of the industry, it's a professionalised industry, and I think that the whole residential side it's definitely catching up. In fact, the Federation of Master Builders put out an article a couple of weeks ago to say that they want a much more regulation, which is already in place, but not being enforced on the residential side of things.
Okay.
So I think that's we're going to see that more and more regulation for residential builders.
It's probably a good thing, though, to be fair, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
So then, the next thing I find, especially newbie investors, is they struggle to how are they going to work out the cost of the refurb at offer stage. And I'm sure you see this as well, Qasafi. People are like, you're asking people what they want to pay. We don't know, because you don't know what the refurb's going to cost them. So, Ray, what's your advice on that? Because that's a massive sticking point for most people.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's difficult for especially newbie investors, especially if you're first one, let's say, and you want to make an offer, but you're going to be refurbishing the property. So how do you work out what that's going to cost?
Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it, really?
It is.
Well, I guess you could ask a friendly builder around and ask for advice.
Yeah.
But it's unlikely, really, because they're all busy and they get paid for, their time is producing, if you like, on site.
Yeah.
But really, that would probably be the first port of call. Ask a friendly builder around, promise them the job if you buy the property, and get some advice on that. But really, another way you can work is to build up rates yourself, if you like. You could sit down with a builder and you could ask that builder for rates. So you could work out, say, to supply a door and frame with ironmongery, what would that unit cost? And you could work out, flooring per metre squared, this kind of thing. How much would it cost to paint one room? So anyone that's in the industry would kind of have separate rates that you could apply to your refurbishments. To be fair, though, it's not that difficult, really. You should be able to build up this list of stuff. It's often just taking action. You could phone up the local flooring supplier and ask how much it is to, per square metre to supply and lay carpet or whatever it might be. How long does it take to paint a room? Probably, day and a half. It's going to be 150 quid a day for the tradesman. So, and your kitchen priced at Howdens, this kind of thing. Once you've got those rates, once you've done your first conversion, those rates can be applied to any other conversion, really. So again, there's no straight answer on this one. You just need to apply a little bit of time to.
We've got some good engagement coming on Facebook. We've got a lot of people tuning in. We've got a couple of questions, in fact. So we've got a question from Luke Spooner. Luke's asked some questions from the team here. Okay. First one is, if two builders' quotes come back in and they are miles apart, how do I know what's what? Is there a way I can ensure the price is like for like?
That's a fantastic question.
Thank you.
Brilliant question.
Thank you, Luke, for that difficult question.
Next is what's the meaning of life, but we'll save it to the end.
Okay, so you get two quotes come in. They're very, very different. Basically, you don't. There's no way of knowing. There are reasons for that, which I can go into if you want. But there's no way of knowing apart from speaking to the builder and asking them what they've allowed for. Basically, often builders will send, again in the residential side of the industry, builders will send back a bulk figure, so it'll be 25 grand, or at least you'll get a very minimal itemisation of it, if you like. In the commercial world, everything will be broken down to the nth degree, so you can compare like for like with the quotations. But the way the residential market that's very difficult, and that leads to all sorts of arguments back end, basically.
So basically what Ray is saying is get a third quotation.
Well, touching on that, Ray, would you ask the builder to maybe break it down at least a little bit? Because I've seen it before as well. You get a bulk price of like 35 grand for electrics and plumbing. Well, what does that include? What does it entail?
Yeah, it's one of the things coming from the commercial industry into the residential industry. That's one thing I've really noticed. It's like, God, it's so lax, really, and also that some of the property trainings I've been on, because I did when I first started it, I wanted to do it properly. They don't really teach that all that much, and I think there's a real market for teaching investors how to deal with builders properly.
100%. It's they always speak of find a property, refurbish a property, refinance it, and go again.
Yeah, where's the refurbished bit?
Yeah, exactly. It would be like someone like myself jumping on the big commercial conversion your guys are doing at the minute. I could I muddle my way through it? Maybe, yeah. Would it cost me probably triple? Yeah, almost definitely.
Yeah.
It sounds easy in these courses, but guys, until you've actually experienced it and had these fallouts with these builders, oh God, you can't appreciate it. You really can't.
I've got a couple more questions, but I'm sure you've got plenty more, so I'll let you fire one, then I'll go next.
So then, right. So coming off that then, and so what's the best way to obtain a professional quote from a builder then?
Well, it's kind of related to what we've just been talking about, really. So the way, can I answer that by saying how it's normally done and probably shouldn't be done?
Oh, definitely.
Is that what tends to happen is that you will phone up your builder, and the investor will phone up the builder. Okay, could you meet me around there Tuesday morning and give me a quote, please? And you know what you want done, but not the real detail of it. But you don't even realise that yet. And the builder comes round with his iPad or his clipboard or whatever. Clipboard. And okay, so I want this done, please. And I want that boxed in, and that. Oh, do I want that? I'm not sure I really want that done. But and it's all a bit ad hoc on the day, and the builder's kind of taking control, and he's maybe leading you with some ideas of his own kind of thing. And then builder goes away, and quote comes in, and it's a bulk price. And next builder comes in, and same situation happens, and he interprets it in a different way to the other builder.
I was going to say,
and
how do you make
confusion
sure that
sets
they're
in,
doing the right thing?
deletions set in, and you're getting quotes that are not like for like. So that's how it shouldn't be done. And again, it really comes back to this schedule of work situation, which I harp on about on social media, that to us in the commercial world is the absolute norm. That had you have put some time in the investor to list your work items down, and that doesn't have to be real technical. It's things like new kitchen, or and specify what kitchen it is, and new flooring and specify what flooring it is. If you itemise that down, then when the builder comes around, you are providing the schedule to the builder. You are taking the lead, and the builder will itemise on that schedule. So that's the professional way to receive a quotation.
Loving it. Some really interesting golden nuggets that you're giving away there. So I'm sure there's guys who are listening right now. If they wanna get more information about this, I wanna have a consultation. Is there a way they could get in touch with you?
Definitely is. We'll touch base on that right at the very end.
Fair
But
enough.
Ray offers some immense training, guys,
Yeah.
on this. The packages he offers, like I say, it's definitely a gap in the market. I've
Yeah,
been there
definitely.
myself. I've been that guy. Yeah, can you just paint that wall there? I don't know what
Yeah,
colour yet.
yeah.
Can you just change this kitchen? Can you just change the bathroom?
It's
The next
all
mate
ad
comes
hoc,
along.
and
And then I tell him something different. He goes, Adam, do you want that changed as well? I'm like, oh, yeah, let's change that as well.
Yeah.
And then when he comes in higher, I'll be like, oh, this guy's a rip-off.
And then what tends to happen is you get on site, and then the builder thinks he's doing one thing, you think he's doing another thing, and it's he said that, she said this, and you got a whole load of disputes on your hands, basically. Yeah.
Got another question that's just come in. The question is, how do I go about paying my builder, and should I ever pay a builder up front?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's always a bone of contention, eh?
Okay. So again, in the commercial world, and I would argue in the residential world as well, you should never pay a builder up front. Now, so there are occasions where you would pay a builder some small upfront money right at the start of the job. I really wouldn't do that if you can help it, but it seems to be the norm in the resi market that you agree a small amount of money up front. That's fine, but then what happens is you would agree the payment process. You'd agree all these processes actually up front before you start the work, okay? And that will be written down on some sort of contract document, bespoke contract, only one page of A4 bespoke contract document, and you'd agree the process for agreeing what we call valuations. It's a valuation of work complete to date. So we do ours fortnightly. We go around every second Friday, and we walk around with our schedule of works, and we physically tick off the work that's been completed, and then it's very easy to agree with the builder. Okay, well it's £2,386, as opposed to the builder phoning up saying, "Oh, can I have £5,000 this week, please?" Which is what normally goes down,
100%.
So
Ray, you keep touching on a schedule of work. I mean, I know what a schedule of work is. I deal with it because you actually taught me yourself last year.
Yeah.
It's been invaluable since then. But for our viewers, Ray, can you go a bit more in depth on that?
Okay, so really for any new investor or investor that's been doing this for years, I would really I've been investing now seriously myself for 2.5 years, and the thing I've seen is that people get in disputes with builders quite a bit. Okay, I spend quite a bit of time every month helping different investors out. All of that can be mitigated up front if you use a schedule of works.
Okay.
So a schedule of works is just it's flash name for a list of work items, basically. That's all it is. And it involves you, the investor, walking into the property and listing down the works that you want, and you will set that out in a logical way. There's no real standard. There are some kind of norms, but there's no real standard structure for that. You set the schedule out in the best way for that particular project. And you might, for example, list all the removals, and then you might list the new works. And then that becomes the basis of it, and that becomes the basis of valuing the works complete. It becomes the basis of any variations. Now, there's a term that builders say, extras. Okay, so we don't use the term extras. That isn't really a term in the commercial world.
Okay.
It's variation. So which is an addition or an omission. Builders don't normally mention the omission part. So it's addition or omission, and the way, so we value those by pro-ratering rates from the schedule. If there are no schedule, there's nothing to pro-rata from. So builders can pick prices out of the air, basically.
I honestly think we could have got Ray on a lot sooner, because we've got questions flooding in on Facebook at the moment, and I've got some of my own. I'm sure you've got some of your own.
Well, I've got tons, guys. But I'm looking at the clock thing. We're not going to be able to get them all in. So why don't Ray tell everyone how they can reach him? Because I fear we've got about 4 minutes left.
We've got about three minutes.
Whoa, so come on, Ray. How can these people reach you to follow up on these questions?
So my website is www.carmelcrest, that's CARMELCREST.co.uk. .com. That's my website, carmelcrest.com. You can email me if you like, and I'll answer any questions. And that's ray@carmelcrest.co.uk. And we have a course running actually on just for this type of thing, and I believe to fulfil a big gap in the market. You can find details of that on the website.
Nice. Just briefly, Ray. I mean, what sort of things do you go over on the course? Just to give a brief rundown.
So the reason I did it is because I went on all the property trainings, and there was a big gap there about dealing with builders and refurbishing properties. Right, so everyone that comes out of these trainings, none of them are using schedules of work still, and none of them are producing contracts. None of them are aware of CDM regs, and it's there's a lot of information missing. So my aim is to professionalise that part of an investor's skill set, to bring it in line with the kind of purchase phase and the letting phase.
Nice.
So there's a lot of content on the course. So yeah.
If you guys want to reach Ray, then there's a link that's been posted on Facebook Live right now. So if you want to click that, and I'll take you straight to Ray's course, where you could access the course and learn about how to basically develop a property from A to Z.
That's so true. I mean, I visited the landlord this morning, Ray, on the way in, and he was having arguments with the electrician, putting sockets in different places. And all I was thinking was, exactly what he needs. He needs a schedule of works.
Simple drawing, mark it up on a drawing. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So guys, I couldn't recommend it enough. Like the schedule of works is the key to stepping on the right foot with the builder straight away. It's that planning up front.
Yeah. Normally this time during the ready show, I'm always like, Adam, time out, and you just don't look at me, do you, mate? You just go on.
Ignore, and I'm looking the other way.
So we literally got about a minute and 20 seconds before we wrap up. And just one thing I want to ask you, probably the last thing I want to ask Ray. I know you've been coming to Peterborough for like 2-3 years now. We always ask our guests what they love about Peterborough, because Peterborough was dubbed the worst city to live in the UK, which was totally out of order, incorrect. So please tell us, what do you love about Peterborough?
Okay, so when I come to Peterborough, I'll always bring a razor, just in case.
It gets too much for you.
Especially on Lincoln Road, right?
So basically, when we started, like I said, we drove around a lot of cities, with view to our investment area. And so we settled on Peterborough because we thought it was a great investment area.
Yeah.
And whilst we've been doing that, we've become very familiar with the area, and we like the people in the area.
Amazing.
We just feel it kind of suits us. And
fantastic.
I won't say enough about it.
Amazing, brilliant. He loves Peterborough, guys. There you have it.
It really does. So, guys, thank you for joining us today on Salam FM 106.2 FM. Thanks for your questions. Like I say, if you want to ask more from Ray, because I'm sure you guys got bundles of questions, hit him up. The link's in the Facebook Live.
No problem. Guys,
and from myself and Qasafi, we are the Peterborough Property Guys, and we'll join you this time every week on Salam FM, Tuesday 5 to 6.
Thank you for tuning in, guys, and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Cheerio.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.